Mother, tell your children not to walk my way. Tell your children not to hear my words, what they mean, what they say. Mother.
Well, hello all, and we have a full crew tonight. We're going to talk some Full Gear, going to talk some Continental Classic, maybe other things. We'll see where it goes. But we are all here. Hope everyone's doing okay. Sean has joined us. Ricky has joined us. Sean was at the show, so he can give that perspective. You always like to have a live perspective of the show because that does add a little bit to everything. Guess I will start things off and just talk about. I thought Full Gear was a great pay-per-view that wasn't uber great. I thought it was just great. I think, but I will say, and this is not fair, but I've said this again and again. This is probably like the lowest standard AEW can really put on, I think, and be okay. So I think this is like the level. Still was a great pay-per-view. It was better than most pay-per-views you're probably going to get, but the build wasn't really great. So a lot of the matches, not a lot of excitement for, but definitely had some great matches. Had some. I don't think there was anything bad. We might have had one okay match on here, and then you had, well, I guess pre-show stuff. But anyways, what did you guys think of the pre-show, by the way? And
go ahead, Ricky, because I know you've been dying. Go ahead.
Listen. I'm here for two reasons: to talk about this pre-show and to bury Jack Perry. So let's get them both one of them right now. Costco guys, I have a little bit of a different perspective on this because I live in South Florida. They're from Boca Raton. They do a lot of work down here. A lot of their gimmicks started near Florida Atlantic University's campus, which is not too far away from where I live. And they do a lot of stuff in Miami as well. And I've watched them slowly get really popular. And, not that I'm a diehard fan, but I always thought this is kind of cool. It's nice to see something get viral on social media that's not like a thirst trap or something that's crazy political. It's nice that it's like just some father and son messing around for whatever reason catches the nation by storm. I find that kind of quirky and interesting. So when this match got announced, so firstly, I was supposed to go to the show as well. Had to cancel at the last minute, sadly, because the guy I was going with had an emergency in his family. But I was supposed to go to the show as well. And I was actually excited to see this because I thought it was fun in a good way. I don't think anything that's unorthodox and goofy in wrestling is necessarily bad if it hits the right notes. It's on the pre-show. QT is a perfect opponent for it. It's in the guy's home state. It's in a crowd that gets it, that will laugh along with the jokes, that will go along with it. A lot of WWE's comedy is bad because it's not funny and it's not over. This is stuff that the crowd will get into, will enjoy. So
did get into.
And this guy, the dad, Big Umeje, obviously they talked about on the TV that he's a former wrestler. But what does that also mean? He's going to take it seriously. He's going to try. It's not going to be one of these celebrity things that just mails it in. Or like when AEW brought Dennis Rodman and it was just totally flat, even though it was in Chicago. Like you knew that they were going to put effort into this.
I don't even remember that.
Exactly.
You don't remember Dennis Rodman on WCW?
No.
Are you kidding me? I was on Counterpoint kid. I thought it was pretty sick.
Collision.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. I think I saw that live. Because that was All Out 2023 weekend. I went to that Collision, so I'm pretty sure I was there for that.
Yes, and he was on the pre-show for All Out as well with the Acclaimed, and like none of us.
He stood in the ring when he stood in the ring when they were trying to go for the pin, like in the way. Yeah, that was funny. Yeah.
So all I wanted to say was, I think this is good. I know this got trashed, and I will say right now, if they overdo this, if they do this too much, if he's on multiple shows a year, yes, I can see how it gets out of hand, it gets old, it gets bad. I totally agree. But for this moment, I thought this was a good supplement to the pay-per-view, and I think a lot of AEW's pre-shows have been pretty bad lately, and it was nice to have something like this that would liven up the crowd and would just be fun. And Markeem knows what I'm talking about when I say this. There's a lot of Chikara in this. Like the family-friendly entertainment, the characterization of all those family members.
I agree.
It was fun.
I agree.
It was fun. It was innocent. I liked it.
Is it Chikara or is it just good wrestling?
Well, he's talking about like the tone and the way it was framed and all that stuff. Chikara would do shit like this all the time. And I'm right with Kid. I think the worst thing about it was QT Marshall. I hate that guy in a good way, I guess, because but that dude has go away heat with me, bro. Like I never need to see QT Marshall ever. But as a segment overall, I thought it worked well. And I disagree with you, kid. I think that the idea of bringing them in as like roster members is cool. It's like a little sideshow thing. Like you throw them because there's goofy acts all through AEW. You throw them in with like a goofy act, it gives them juice because these motherfuckers have so many followers. And, they're so huge. I can see them working in tandem with like one of the goofy acts on the show. That's fine. I wouldn't.
But it does have. I feel like the gimmick has a shelf life. So they're not going to be popular forever. The Costco
guys. Of course.
But I feel like for a time period, you can maybe bring him in here and there. I think he's already called a shot. He said that he's going to end up coming back. And, we'll still see if they have the impact online at that point when he comes back in. But I thought for this, I enjoyed this little match they had here.
With a broken foot, too, which was even more impressive on that front. From, in the building, the crowd obviously loved it. Though I think maybe it was just me, but I felt like the person who was more over than the Costco guys was the Rizzler.
Of course.
Oh, yeah.
I don't get the Rizzler thing, but it just amazed me how over he was. But for a match for that crowd, it worked well. And I thought I could be wrong, but I thought I heard that AJ might be helping them a little bit with like social media stuff going forward, which if he does that in like a backstage role, I think it's worth having him for that too. So
yeah, I didn't hear that, but that will be good for them for sure.
Yeah, I think the thing about this is, like everyone was like, why is this on the show? Why was it on the show? And I think all of us, for the most part, were like, it's on the pre-show. It doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah, as soon as I saw it was on the pre-show, I was like, I started
honestly, this is one of the things I think when WWE does stuff like this, they kind of miss the boat on. Putting this on the pre-show, which is going to be on YouTube and is going to be on social media with these guys, is how you use them, because you're going to get more exposure that way with these guys. These guys aren't going to necessarily sell a lot of pay-per-view guys. That's not why they're there. That's not what you're going to use them for. So why would you put them on the pay-per-view? You're doing it for exposure, so put it on the thing that's going to have possibly the most exposure, which would be the pre-show, that it's going to be all over the internet anyways.
Or anything internet-based.
Yeah. I don't see...
Imagine them in when BTE was kind of like Prime, and you bring these guys in as almost like characters. Like that, I feel like that would have got really over.
Right. So I think that's a big part of
and
I was shocked
because it's disposable, because it's on the pre-show. People always make that argument, cater to the casual fan, and what they mean by that is dumbasses, pretty much. But this is literally catering to the casual fan. And the idea when people say that, they go, well, this is how you convert an audience. When the idea, yes, is to convert an audience, but if it's on the pre-show and it's out of the way of the fan base that usually watches the show, and like a casual fan happens to see the YouTube channel, they might search it. And if it converts even one person, it's worth doing, in my opinion.
What about you, Chase? You've been quiet.
I didn't watch the pre-show.
Oh, okay.
The other thing about the pre-show, I didn't see the match, but apparently it was really bad. Anna Jay versus Deonna Purrazzo,
yeah.
Oh god. It was not
good. Is Deonna Purrazzo is it just over with for her, or?
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, man. Be honest, God. Don't be nice. Be honest.
No. I wonder if she is like, I wonder if she's now like a really small fish in a really big pond, where when she was in TNA, even though it didn't seem that way, she was like,
she felt
a medium-sized fit. Yeah, she felt bigger. And then when she got here, I think part of it was she's having to do like more live promo stuff. She's definitely not good at that. And then I think part of it's probably confidence. I think her confidence just seems shot. So I think there's a lot to it. I don't think it's so much she's shot as I think it's like all the other things that you see that makes it look like she's shot where she's not shot. Probably.
Can I be a dickhead real quick? Remember all those people used to say that fucking Impact TNA had the best women's division?
People.
Of course.
Yeah. Hey, this was the best woman there for years, by the way.
But we've talked about this. It's people who are like, oh, it's featured more, so it's better. Instead, not that it's actually better. It's, they say that about WWE. Oh, they feature the women more, so the women's division is better. The women's division since Hunter took over has been not as good.
Terrible.
Is not as good as when Vince was there. I don't know why. I don't know what changed, because you wouldn't think that would be the case, but it's not as good. I think part of it is because of the people that Hunter's pushing versus who Vince pushed, but not to defend Vince McMahon, but just to kind of point out that, it was like there's definitely a difference. Like, except for Rhea, no one seems big. Like, nobody. So that whole notion of just, oh, well, you featuring people doesn't necessarily make it better. It just means they're getting featured. And
quantity doesn't always equal quality.
No, it does not.
What it comes down to.
No.
And the only thing I'll add about Deonna versus Anna is that match took place at 6:45, 6:50, and the building was not full at all. So they were working in front of maybe a third of the crowd. So there weren't exactly a lot of people there when they were wrestling.
Right. Well, still, I mean, that doesn't mean anything. You still go out there because you're not wrestling for that crowd. Then you're wrestling for the TV crowd.
I thought the match was okay, but
the four corner match I thought was I thought the four corner match was fun. I feel like
that was fun.
I feel like the pre-show should have more of these matches, like four corner survival. Just throw four guys out there and just let them go out there and do something.
Something like the opener, which was that, right? The opener was the tag title match, right? Like stuff just something like that, because that is something that gets people excited. It looks cool. People going out there just doing cool shit.
Is it something that gets people excited? Can we talk about that match?
I didn't. I thought that tag.
No. What I'm saying is the idea is you put people to get them excited. Not
let them do cool shit. Gotcha.
Yeah, let them do cool shit. Let them do. No, that match was.
But to Josh's point, was it Forbidden Door? They also had a 4-way tag match on that pre-show. That one was a lot better than the one we got on this pay-per-view. Like Roderick Strong was tagging with Gabe Kidd, Kings of the Black Throne.
Yeah, but you had more. I think you had better people.
You had Claimed and Outrunners here. I mean, it's not that style for a 4-way,
Right.
Yeah, when you look at the lineup of teams in that match, that 4-way, and when you look at the qualifiers they had on TV, they picked FTR House of Black was really the only match where it didn't really matter who won. But for the other two matches, the lesser, in terms of is this team going to make the match better or worse? They picked the worst team in 2 of those 3 matches. So, but obviously, for the Acclaimed, for example, they had a storyline reason for putting them in there. So even though what they did in that match was really stupid,
I think it would have been better to do the Acclaimed versus the Outrunners on the pre-show.
Mm-hmm.
Let both teams do their shtick. I think that would have been a better use of them personally than putting them in, because you wanted to see cool shit and you're not necessarily going to see cool shit with them. So
all you had to do was have Top Flight beat the Outrunners and then LFI beat the Acclaimed, and then you could have done that match on the pre-show.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, but not what they did. Anyways, I thought the match was okay to good.
I mean, the focus.
Yeah, that match was. Yeah, I thought.
The focus was all wrong because it was Private Party's first defense, and the whole story of it was the Acclaim can't get.
They were the 4th most over team in that whole match. All the other 3 teams were way more over than what they were, and that's their hometown.
It's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Those dudes. I don't think those dudes are very good. That's just what it comes down to me. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not supposed to say that. Representation. I'm black too. No,
we said last week. We said that the Guns title reign was already better than what they're doing. So
it's fine.
Nah, man, they're.
I can say it was a cool moment when they won it, but
I'm
that was
sure
it.
they're nice guys. I'm sure they seem like nice guys, but
You don't gotta do that, bro. Like
no, I'm just being honest. I don't think they're very good.
No. I'm saying like you don't.
You know what? It would have been
they're not
better
good.
for them to take on House of Black and beat them than in a regular tag match than this.
Of course, I mean, give them some kind of credibility.
Yeah,
but
I think it, and I think
do you want to do that with them?
I mean, if you want it, you've got to give them something. That's giving them, you know.
Yeah, I'm with Josh that you either try to fix this or you stop it. Like just having them continuing being uncredible champions for however many months this reign is supposed to go. It's a drag on the product.
You mean like Kofi Kingston as the WWE champion? Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
I'm gonna do the black thing right now because that's been the conversation around this team. First black, tag team. Well, not first black, first in a while. Yeah. First in a while, and that's all I've heard via social media and things like that. Yet people still find odd ways to criticize AEW. Kind of weird, but they're not. Well, I mean,
you had.
They're not good.
I mean, you had that question that was asked at the press conference that was asked all sorts of weirdly, wasn't asked well at all. And then people got mad because Bobby Lashley got asked a weird question and then he answered it in a weird way because it was a weird question and it wasn't the way people wanted it answered. And it's like,
some of my people have had some weird things to say about Bobby Lashley. I won't ruin this whole show and get us all in trouble, but
no, because I agree. I does not shock me at all because he seems like the type of guy that you would have people be like, he's not one of us.
I did not see the press conference. What did he say?
He essentially said he don't see color, basically.
Yeah, but not like he was just like what she asked was what she was trying to ask was how did it feel to be in a match with another, black wrestler who had been a world champion, right? Right. And that's not what she asked. She said something like, how was it like what was it like to or what's it like to be somewhere where you can wrestle someone who was a black champion or something like that? And he basically was like,
he said like it's not a big deal.
It's not like it's like
that. It's just like, I got you.
Which is, I mean, kind of like what this is the difference. When Triple H was asked H was asked that question, the reason he was asked that question is because there are blacks in WWE since he took over who are not getting featured as much as they were against when Vince McMahon was in charge. That's why he was asked the question.
But I'm sure Brandon could appreciate this. Why would you ask someone like Bobby Lashley that question? Yeah, like, why? Think about it that way. Like, I give you a very good example. Michael Jordan, right? Michael Jordan, one of the greatest basketball players of all time, never spoke out about the plight of people that look like me or Brandon. You know what I mean? Never spoke out about
shoes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That was, you know what I mean? So why would you ask him about anything that involves race relations or anything like that? This is no respect. I got nothing but respect for Bobby Lashley. This is Bobby Lashley. Like, why would you ask him of all people? Well, how about the guy sitting next to him? I understand asking him something like that. But Bobby
MVP,
Lashley?
you don't want what MVP is going to say. That's why.
But that's who you would ask a question.
I know that's who you ask that question to, but you don't want because you know what he's going to say. Like you're going to give him like there are people like I will get us in trouble. There are people who are never going to give MVP that platform, and I'm not talking out about WWE. Are never going to give him that platform to be himself. If you follow him on social media at all, you know how he views the world. You know what his thoughts are on things. He does not hide it at all. He's very outspoken about his belief about like his life, and all of it. So I think you have people that are scared to ask him those questions because they don't want those answers. They don't want to have to. They don't want to have to deal with the fallout of what he's going to say. Let me put it that way.
Bottom line, stop doing these goddamn scrums. Then
I'm reading the transcript, and it sounds bad. Like we've normalized this already. No, we haven't. Like no. I don't know. I'll have to go and watch the video, but just
his answer was not good, but her
we
question,
can erase that black champion. It's just champion now. Yeah, I don't know. Again, I'm not surprised at Bobby Lashley, but
it's Bobby Lashley.
I mean, it would be like this isn't.
Yeah.
I mean,
all that to say, Private Party stinks, and we need to get the titles off of them. Nice guys, though.
All right. Then we have.
Do you guys? Wait. I wanted to ask about the Acclaim thing. Am I the only one that just doesn't want them to split up? I would rather they both just turn heel. Because I don't know.
I think they're better as heels.
You mean turn heel together, like as a heel?
Yes.
Go back being heel. I mean, we kind of seen it already.
But look, I get it. Anthony Bowens is a better wrestler than Max Caster, and it would be intriguing to see him have singles matches. I think people are overestimating how far that's going to go. I think after a few months, relative to this roster, it's not going to stand out.
You're going to get lost. I mean, that's the thing. Like, this roster is the way it is. You're going to get lost in this roster, especially the fact that this is a company where you do kind of have to earn your spot. You're not giving your spot. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? You do kind of have to. We just talked about Private Party, but you do have to kind of earn your spot, and especially in the singles part of it, you have to earn that spot. And if you can't do that, if you can't hang, it's not going to be good. So I would
love to see him get the chance. Like, let's see if there's anything there.
Yeah.
Hey, kid, to answer your question though, I don't know if you're the only one that prefers it, but I can tell you, I don't give a shit about either one of these dudes. So fine, you want to turn them both? Cool. You want to break them up? Whatever, man. Whatever.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of people on the VOW crew who just think the Acclaimed are just well past their expiration date at this point. So,
no, I agree.
I mean, I will say them as a heel is a repackaging that they probably need, but I don't.
But we've seen it already. We've seen it.
Like
Brian, you need to get Daddy Ass away from them as well.
Oh my God, get him off my fucking TV. Oh my God. Look, it's 2024, man. Why
that's almost 2025.
That's one of the other issues is I think they're stuck with him, and even when like he's still doing what he should be doing, which is comedy bits, but they need to at least try to be more serious. So
if one of those guys accept MVP's card and everything, would you not want it to be Bowens over Caster?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh,
see something from him.
Unless you're just gonna have Caster be like a secondary mouthpiece for that group.
You don't seem like he's fit for that group. I'm just
saying.
I'm see what they do with
I'm not disagreeing with you. I mean, I would. We'll see. Okay, can we get on? So this next,
I ain't got much to say about this match. So
I think, am I the only one that? I want to say this was the most disappointing match on the show.
No.
But it wasn't. But I want to say it was because I had much higher expectations for this match.
The most disappointing match on the show was later.
Yeah, no, I agree. But I'm just saying that this match was just. There was nothing to it.
Yeah, I thought it was really good, even though I thought it had it definitely had a higher ceiling, but I don't know, it just didn't hit it. And
no one was really into the story, man. Like,
yeah,
just like seeing what's happening with this whole.
And that's the thing. They went out and they had a match that was like, it was like they didn't get that. Oh, wait a minute, people really aren't in the story. We need to have we need to go out and have a different type of match that doesn't fit with the story, and they didn't do that. And so
I thought the work was really good, and the only complaint I'd have about the work is that the finish sort of just came out of nowhere. Well, though I guess from what I saw from people who watched the show on pay-per-view is that MJF was working over his hand, and that that led to the finish, but that didn't exactly come across well live. So
Was he on TV? It seemed like MJF was still a face to the crowd, even though he kept trying to get them to turn on him, and they just wouldn't. I don't know if that's how you experienced it live.
Yeah, he wasn't fully cheered, but there were points in the match where, well, obviously with the promo before the match, he was trying to get the crowd against him, and then later on in the match, they did do dueling chants. So I don't think the crowd fully turned on Roddy, but there was definitely portions that were into MJF.
The problem is that, and this comes down to the TV, which, by the way, is my main problem with AEW. I low-key think Dynamite kind of sucks, but whatever. I keep my mouth shut. I just kind of roll with it. No,
very inconsistent. It's very inconsistent.
I think kind of sucks. But Roderick Strong getting so much time to talk when that is not how he gets over, man. He gets over in the ring.
Did they not watch those video wires?
Those horrible ROH World Champion promos. But Brandon, how'd it go? What'd he say? What'd he tell Tyler Black? How much more time they getting?
Oh my god, bro. That was terrible. I was trying to wish those on my memory.
Now we're getting 10 more minutes, something like that, he said. But yeah, so horrible. He's never been able to talk. And he goes on TV and he cuts these like odd promos that is still in like the goofy comedy character, but now he's being serious. This whole thing's been handled wrong. I wouldn't want to cheer this guy either, and that's why they didn't. Of course I would cheer MJF. I know MJF. Think about it this way. Imagine you get into AEW, right? You don't know the history of Roderick Strong, whatever. But MJF, I think we all can agree, is an international superstar at this point. If you're a wrestling fan anywhere around the world, you know who Maxwell Jacob Friedman is, right? We can all agree on that, right? But Roderick Strong is not. Like, as much as I love Roderick, he's not. Imagine if you cut on AEW because you heard of MJF and you find out he's facing this guy who's been cutting these horrible promos and you're supposed to cheer this guy that's been cutting these horrible promos. What is going to happen? And that's what happened. I did not like this match at all. Not even a little bit. Not even ironically. Yeah, they both can work. Obviously, they both can work. But I didn't like it at all because why should I give a fuck? Why should I give a fuck? Why?
In the story, like in general, for me, it's always gonna be a problem that the Kingdom and Cole were this big evil group that conspired for 4 months to screw with MJF, to screw with the whole company, and now because we turned Max, now they're faces too. There is nothing sympathetic about any of those guys. I think even though Cole has more ground in AEW than Roddy does, I think it'll be the same problem in those matches too. This dynamic is just fucked. And there's no fixing it. There's no fixing making MJF the asshole here when they fucked him over for like 6 months on TV.
They should keep them apart for like 6 months, and then
they're gonna do that.
I know because somebody doesn't want to do that, unfortunately, and somebody needs to tell him no. They need to keep him away for 6 months. And then have them cross paths somehow, and then start the feud back up. Then,
like a casino what is it? Casino
gauntlet maybe even like the Owen or something like that, where they cross paths, and then like something like that, and then you can start a feud and be like, hey, you don't have to go into complete detail about everything that happened, just that they have history with each other, and then kind of start a new feud from there, kind of a restart of the feud if they really want to do this. So that's kind of my take on that.
Yeah, I ain't like this at all. Anybody else got anything to add?
It was okay.
It was totally fine, well worked. It's just the story's fucked.
Right.
We were talking about MJF versus Roderick Strong, by the way. I don't know if that ever was said.
Then we had the TBS Women's Championship.
This is why I'm here, by the way. I'm sick as a dog. This is why I'm here.
Go ahead.
No, I'm gonna let y'all go first.
Mercedes versus Chris Statlander.
Yep.
Did it hit the mark that I asked for?
Yes, in my opinion, it did.
Yep, it did.
It ended up being a great match by the end.
Yep.
That was a pretty good match. I enjoyed it a lot.
It took a while. It took a while for them to get there, and it took a while for them, like a lot of matches on the show, outside of maybe like 1 or 2. It took them a while to get the crowd into it. But once they got into it, it it peaked right when it was supposed to, and I guess if you believe what's been sort of bandied about, I guess Mercedes called an audible and decided to go beyond the original finish because the crowd was getting into the match, which, if that's true, it was a good call on her, I think, from a live perspective. So, because I think it was the Moneymaker was originally supposed to be the finish, but Chris kicked out, and they kept doing the kickouts, and that's what led to the crowd getting more into the match. Definitely,
I think this is the best match she's had.
Yeah, either this is the Willow match.
And forever.
In AEW, yeah.
Yeah, and forever. So,
and I'm a Chris Statlander fan, so it's pretty cool to see that she's had some really great matches on pay-per-view lately.
I think she's a good opponent for Mercedes, I think. Just like stylistically, like Mercedes attacking someone bigger than her, and you saw Mercedes bust out a lot of creative counters in this match to try to like take advantage of the size mismatch, like what she did that like neck breaker thing on the knee and whatever. Like I think they have a good thing going. I mean, I think feel it, but this I did.
I think it's the same reason why Mercedes had like this weird chemistry with Charlotte that worked, because Chris and Charlotte, both bigger opponents for her. So
if you go back through stats, pay-per-view matches, she's probably been like the most consistent woman in the company, like across like all the pay-per-views. Either
her or Willow, probably.
Mm-hmm.
Even she usually delivers. She usually hits a high mark, and I like the Mercedes heat segments. I think have been death ever since she's been in AEW. Like that's the one bad part about her turning heels, that every time she's in control of the match, just dies. Like the Sheeta match died, the Britt Baker match died, and I felt like in this match she made a concerted effort to change how she worked. She was using a lot more high spots. She was taking her to the outside. She was utilizing the knees way more often than she normally does. I don't know. I at least personally felt like, okay, you're wrestling this a little bit differently to keep me.
I felt like she was not trying to wrestle a WWE match.
More like that match she had with Kyrie at the New Japan show. Like she was very much in control. She was doing, again, like you said, a little bit more high spots and everything versus like her WWE style, which you mostly see with her.
Right.
That's it. Yeah,
that's it. Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I just want to kick this man out of the room because he's gonna say something dumb. But go ahead.
All right. So, as far as this match delivering, sure, okay. I'm not going to fight anybody that feels like this match is great because I see it, I get it, 100% get it. I thought it was good. I thought it was really good. I thought it finally delivered. I thought she finally delivered in the ring. And if you noticed, because all y'all think I just blindly hate on this woman. Last week I said it would. By the way, just keep that in mind. I said, yeah, it probably will. Brandon was the one that was like, I'm not so sure. I was like, it probably will. You know why? Because his audience cares about Chris Statlander so much, so that even when she had that stupid turn with Stokely Hathaway, they still cared about it. They care about Willow Nightingale. They even take the corny Mariah May segment. They cared initially about that more than they do about this one. And my thing is, as good as this match was, could you imagine if they cared about her? That's always been my thing. And the reason why they don't is all the other stuff. I said when the bell rung that this girl can wrestle. I said she's an overrated wrestler, which I still feel that way. But I said she can wrestle. I even came on here and said that she is the greatest American woman wrestler in history. Did I not say that? Were y'all here when I said that? I said that, right? Did I say that? And when the bell rang, the best American women's wrestler in history, just for her body of work. I just feel like since she's left the WWE, she has coasted on that reputation of being a super worker. And all of these fans gave her the benefit of the doubt. I heard Joe Lanza talk on Voices of Wrestling about, well, she feels like a non-difference changing mid-carder. And it's her and it's AEW's fault. It's not AEW's fault. They give her so much TV time. They give her so many promo segments, so much to do. The problem is that she stinks at them. That's always been my thing. My main issue with Mercedes is that somehow I'm in a bizarre world because all you motherfuckers just won't say that these segments stink. That she's coming off.
said that they.
I'm not. Just stop. I'll let y'all.
This man's repeating the same
not-
thing. You should have just went to
I'm
bed
not-
for this one, Marquis. Go ahead and finish.
No. I'm not necessarily talking about y'all. I'm saying in general. At this point, I think we all need to understand that she has to earn her credibility back because it's gone. You know what I mean?
But so let me ask you. Well, I'm not interrupting. I'm not. Okay, that was my thing.
Helps.
Do you think that the light bulb? Do you think the reason why? Because this was different. Like she came out and this was different. Do you think the light bulb finally went off and she was like, "Okay, I can't. I've got to do. I need to do something different." I'll even maybe throw this out there because this has been one of the things people have talked about. Is she finally actually healthy? Is that why finally, like, because it was weird that all of a sudden this was the match that she looked like she was doing the high spots and she wasn't doing like.
She knew she couldn't look foolish in there with Chris Statlander, who's one of the best women's wrestlers.
I know, but I'm just saying. But she was doing things she hasn't been doing.
Correct.
And so,
correct.
And I'm not trying to defend her. I'm just
my whole thing is that at least she's self-aware. Because I was going to bring that up. The rumor is that she was the one that wanted Chris Statlander to kick out and all that good stuff, right? I hope from this point forward, she is self-aware enough to know I can't fucking talk. My segments are weird. These people don't care about me because of them. Maybe I should change it up a bit. Maybe I shouldn't talk as much. Maybe I shouldn't have a segment
what she should do?
Where I try and hit Chris Statlander with a car. And everybody's like, what the fuck is this?
You know what she should do?
That was dumb.
She should be a heel, and instead of trying to heel it up, she just needs to be herself.
Exactly.
When she's herself.
Oh my God. What? This is what I said on the show. This is what I said. All I want this girl to do is be authentic. And y'all motherfuckers call me a hater.
No.
I'm
But
like, no.
What I'm saying is but that's not what I mean though. I mean, because I think you're right, but I also think one of the things is she's trying to like heal up herself. And I think she needs to realize that she's just a natural heel when she's herself anyways. Like if you see her talking when she's not
hateable. She's a hateable human being.
Right. Like she just
for a lot of different reasons, but she's a hateable human being.
Yeah, like so I wonder if maybe that, but like we said the last show and you agreed with us, it's this weird thing because the women's division is so much better now with her in it. Even if
it's just the catalyst of it hasn't been very good.
Right.
And that's always been my thing. Look, I didn't even like this match as much as everyone else did because I legit thought that by the end. No, I'm just being honest. Like I legit thought I thought it was a great match. Don't get me wrong. Kid 4-star. I see you over there laughing. I gave it 4. You know what I mean? It's a great match. I've seen.
No, I agree with you. I think 4.
Like it has like a
4.5 and like stuff like that.
It has like an 8.5 on like Cage Match. Like, to me, that's. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like to me, that's a little wild. Like 8.5 on Cage Match. That's kind of crazy. You know, like come on, we've seen.
But you know the curve. You know the curve. The women's matches get graded on.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's also true.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, like look. Did it deliver? Yes. Like what more do y'all niggas want from me? Yes, it delivered. G Nation 2020-23. Yes, it delivered. Yes, it delivered. Like who else? Who else was talking shit in the chat? Yes, it delivered. Everyone else though. Yes. But it does not magically erase everything that I've been saying. I've never said she couldn't wrestle. I've never said that. You motherfuckers have misrepresented me, and I'm tired of it. She can wrestle.
I don't think
her matches are usually even this one was heatless at the beginning, but she was self-aware enough to change it. And if she's gonna be self-aware and adjust, you won't hear me say anything. But if she's not, then we'll do this all over again. Because you motherfuckers act like, oh, Marquinhos hating again. Like, no. If she's not gonna adjust, then yes, I will come on here and do this. But if this is an example going forward, hey, regardless of how I feel,
when was the last time any of us defended her?
This entire chat every week we bring up Mercedes.
Y'all
shit to say about me hating. This entire chat. Don't do that, John.
I'm just saying.
You know this entire chat thinks I hate this woman. I'm just
No, but
honest.
that's not what I
Nobody
asked.
else is.
That's not what I asked. I said, when was the last time any of us defended her? Like, truly defended her? It's been like 6 months.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true. That's
We
true.
might have
I did.
rebuttal,
That's
but we're
true.
not defending
That's
her.
true. That's
I
true.
might rebut you, but
true.
I'm not defending.
Fair. That's true. That's true. Just know I've been ahead of the curve.
But you get so mad, and we're like, no one's.
No. It's what bothered me so much is that when she initially came in, she was given this benefit of the doubt that a lot of people aren't awarded. Like a lot of people aren't awarded that, and I thought it was weird. I was like, wait a minute, like. When did bad promos magically not become bad promos?
Because
You know
we
what I'm
didn't
saying?
think it was gonna be. We all.
But
said
that's what I'm saying. Like it was this benefit of the doubt that she was
we
given.
all said that the promos were gonna be bad. What will get her over is what has always gotten her over, which
in
is
the ring.
her in the ring.
And
then she didn't deliver. And she didn't deliver.
But then I think what makes it worse also is that she's given so much time on the shows. Like I know people like it's like a segment a week. But how many women get a segment of how many women? She's given more time than any other woman on the roster. That's what makes it come out so bad.
Should she not get more time than any other woman on the roster?
No, that's
what
my
they're
point.
paying, what they brought her in for. Why
but that's my point though. That's what makes it so. That's what makes it so disappointing. She's given more time than anybody else, yet her segments are.
But we're talking about this. We're talking about this match. Was this match disappointing? Then that's what we're talking about, and we will see how the rest goes. We will see how the rest goes. We'll see what World's End brings to us. But at least for right here, she did her job.
To adjust,
she did her
job. Like if she's going to be self-aware and adjust, cool. If she's not, we'll revisit this again. We'll revisit it again. Okay. I have my doubts though. I have my doubts. It's not just her though. I have my doubts about like the entire company. But
you just had to put that in there. You just couldn't. You couldn't.
I have my doubts. Look, it's not. The doubt's not even like her. It's like this company. Like I don't believe in these people anymore. Like it's just that simple. So and we'll talk about the Continental Classic. I just don't believe in these people anymore. It's not really just her. She's just the most shining example of it.
Stop watching.
You say, I don't watch the weekly TV. I come in for these pay-per-views because they're usually good. I don't watch the TV anymore at all. At all.
Well, doesn't the TBS title feel like the main women's title right now?
Of course. Mariah sucks.
Yes.
Because I don't think it's always been like this since Mercedes been here. But I think it feels like it now. Like especially on this pay-per-view.
But they didn't have a match for the main one on this.
Yeah, they didn't have a match for the other one, so
all right. Jay White versus Adam Page.
Wasn't as good as
last
one.
Who called this?
Let me go first.
Who called the winner?
You did. Let me go first. I love Jay White. Y'all know I love how he works. I love how smart he is in the ring. This was not the spot to have the Markeem, Jay White, and Adam Page tell the story about the leg match. Not the spot for it. Plus, it didn't need to go 19 minutes. It went too long.
This match is everything that is wrong with Jay White.
Josh, don't make me.
I'm just
do
saying
it. Do it.
Don't make me
because it is. This is when people complain about Jay White. It is this match. It's that it's over methodical. It's slow. It's all of these things. It takes you out of the match. It's like, especially when you know he can do better, and it's just like, he turns into Randy Orton is who he turns into.
But I'm glad you said that. Because I've said he is Orton, but he's what people think Orton actually is. That's Jay White. You know what I mean? Like when his matches, y'all don't understand. Like
when they hit,
listen, man,
brother.
Man.
You don't have to explain that to us. We know. We've seen the work.
Even the finish, I was like, man, the way they got here is so genius because this motherfucker's a genius, man. Like, you know what I mean?
I love the finish.
I tell everybody you need to watch this match. This is one of the top matches in the world. You need to watch.
No,
is that good?
I don't know about that.
Really?
What match?
The match with Ibushi?
You're talking about the G1 final? Oh yeah. That's one of my favorite matches of the last decade.
That's what I'm saying. Okay. I'm like,
that's the thing is he has really high highs, But then he'll have like stretches where it's matches like this, and it's not like one or two. He'll have like long stretches where it's like this, and it's annoying, and it's just like, because they're
But
very
he gets to the finished sequence, and it's just like, brother, whoa, this is what we wanted, right, the whole time.
Right, exactly. It's like, where was this for the last however long we've been sitting here? So
I like the style. I just think they need to place it in different places I feel like if this was in a different place on the show, we all would love this match.
I can say that about another match coming up. As well,
I didn't love it. I just thought it was good, to be honest.
Honestly, yeah. So it definitely took the crowd a while to get into it, and it did take me a while to get into it. But honestly, I thought, while I would definitely say the Wrestle Dream match was better, I really liked this by the end. And I thought I was like really into the second half of the match, and like some of the callbacks they did to the to that Wrestle Dream match. Those are really cool. And again, the finishing sequence was phenomenal, and the fact that Jay White won like took the match to a higher level for me, just because of the fact that I was fully expecting Hangman to win, just because it made sense because White won the last one. But I do like the stories where
he can't beat him,
or one guy has the other guy's number, and the only time he did beat him was when Christian got involved. So he hasn't beaten him clean. The only thing I'll say about the finish, sort of in a negative way, is that if we're going to the match that they seemingly teased for the next pay-per-view for the world title match, then it sort of doesn't make sense that Hangman lost. It seems like they had an idea for, I guess they're doing a 4-way at the next pay-per-view, and they sort of are trying to work backwards. But yeah, that would be my only complaint for the finish. Well, I loved it, and I love the story of Jay White constantly having this guy's number. What happened at the end of the show sort of, it doesn't make sense for Hangman to really be involved because he lost again. So this part of the show was like, I thought the show like sort of peaked with like the Mercedes stat match, this match, and then the next match. And it's sort of a weird thing where I've noticed on the last couple of AEW pay-per-views, like the shows have seemingly peaked in the middle, and then we've had these lulls after the fact, and then the crowd sort of comes back for the main event or for the last two matches.
It's because they're booking these shows match-wise very WWE-ish, very like North American.
I feel like the last two shows haven't had that lull, but this one definitely you felt it for sure.
But I think that's kind of I wish they would go back to like that first probably year and a half when it was more like a New Japan show where it was, like the last 4 matches were all great, and I understand there's that worry of like burning the crowd out, but burn the fucking crowd out. I don't. You know what?
That's better than an alternative. I agree, Josh.
Right.
And when I think I said lull, I think I meant that wasn't the right word. I think I'm more so just mean that the last couple of pay-per-views have been peaking in the middle. Like they crescendo at the middle.
But it doesn't take the crowd out of it. I don't think the crowd was, especially all out of Wrestle Dream. I don't think that they were taking out of the pay-per-view, even though it peaked towards the middle versus this one. But that crowd definitely got tired.
But you feel like it comes down, and I think it hurts the show in some ways.
Yeah,
is the thing. I think I get what he said because I kind of feel the same way.
Well, I think a lot of it is they put Ospreay's match usually in the middle of the show. Like all in was like that. All out, he was third. Wrestle Dream was in the middle. This was in the middle. They usually put the Mercedes match later in the show, which the last few pay-per-views before this, like at All Out and at All In, that was not good. Or at Forbidden Door, same problem. So I think that's kind of part of it. But yeah. I think Brendan even agrees on this show after the Ospreay match, the Garcia match and the Ricochet Takeshita match really suffered, and we'll talk about them later.
But I guess we should talk about this.
I thought it was good.
Should we talk about this Ospreay and Fletcher match?
I mean, it was incredible. What else do you want to say?
First.
I mean,
this match was dope. I enjoyed it a lot.
It depends highly on the follow up, but they should be a start.
Well, I think they got lucky with the Continental Classic being after this show and both guys being in it. if that was not happening after this pay-per-view, I think I would have a lot more questions of whether they would actually be able to follow up. But with the tournament, it does, and especially how the blocks are sort of set up, at least for Kyle Fletcher, you definitely get the sense that he's a strong contender to, it's from that block, it's either going to be him or Okada who's going to make it through. So
What about Garcia?
Yeah. I think
too. Yeah.
We're gonna talk about that. We'll talk about that.
We'll talk about that later. but my point is with the tournament, I think that would be a better follow up than just a natural follow up, because I think Fletcher will probably be booked strong in that tournament.
All right,
I hope so.
Oh, go ahead, Chase. Go ahead.
Because that was a star-making performance.
Oh yeah,
just that match alone.
I mean,
this last month for him has been star-making.
Yeah,
I mean, it shows that first match with Ospreay wasn't a fluke. I think too.
I mean, the turn onto Ospreay, the change of the look, you get in with Don Callis, you shave your head, you have that incredible match with Commander on TV, and then you get a big pay-per-view win against Ospreay. I mean, they're giving this guy a really nice push, and like Chase, it is all about the follow-up. Like, I mean, we'll talk about the Continental Classic, but yeah, what is going to happen with him in there to kind of follow up, with this win?
Go ahead, kid.
I'm just saying he brings passion when he speaks. Like it's so simple, but it's so missing from a lot of guys in this company. Like even his promo work. Like I think his verbiage is not necessarily the best, but I feel him. I feel his presence every time he's trying to talk about his motivations or why he's doing.
If you think he's being somewhat real, the verbiage doesn't matter, because I think in some ways that helps, because you feel like they're being more real and not.
All right, so I do think this was the best match on the show. I do think it was a great match, a very great match. I think I loved it as much as everybody else did.
That's fine.
Because this is supposed to be a grudge match. And this felt like a great Will Ospreay match. Other than his entrance, the match itself really didn't feel all that different. Like he was throwing, like he threw some like punches that looked pretty intense at one point. But like this dude turned on you. This dude fuck you over. He's one of your best friends, all that stuff. And you just go out there and you just have your typical fantastic Will Ospreay match. I thought there would be a little bit of hate. Thought there'd be a little bit, a little bit of, and I was a little disappointed in that. Just a little disappointed in that. But like you guys said, it made Kyle Fletcher.
You didn't think that jumping tombstone on the steel steps was
Will Ospreay do dangerous shit like that in every fucking match. Like, come on, man. Come on. He does shit like that all the time. Apron bumps, step bumps, all that stuff. Flat back bumps on the floor. He's Will Ospreay. That's what he does.
Should they have instead done a really shitty Tiger Driver onto the steps?
Josh trying to kill people.
Oh, there you go.
No. I'm saying a shitty version of it. I'm not saying drop him on his head. I'm saying
give the illusion. Give the illusion.
No.
Yeah, you are.
Have him hit like his shoulders and back. Do more of like a J driller or something like that.
And then have Excalibur going crazy, like, oh my god, he did the most dangerous move.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, the Gonzo bomb that Fletcher did was more dangerous than any Tiger Driver we've seen outside of the.
That's what I was thinking.
So.
But that's his finisher. That's one of his finishers. So, I mean, it was great. I don't want people to think I don't think it was great, but I expected a little more, like, this guy turned on me. I thought like Ospreay would be like tearing at him and like more aggressive instead of let's do my. You
thought it would be more like the Kenny match.
Yes. There we go. That's perfect.
Does it help at all that almost certainly they're going to do this again with with like a certain stipulation? And
hopefully that's where we get that. I hope. Yeah.
That's all coming.
Probably in Australia.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
Oh, we got to talk about that as well. We'll bring it up later.
All right, kid.
Yeah, this is why he's here. Like I was here earlier. This is why he's here.
Man, it's so sad that I have to admit the Costco guys was genuinely a big part of it too. Like it wasn't like some small thing on my mind. I really, really wanted to talk about that. All right. I didn't think this match was very good. I don't think this is necessarily their fault because I think Ricochet and Takeshita had an equal caliber match, and those guys are studs. I guess we could talk about Ricochet specifically. There's certain problems there, but I thought this match was just okay. I like the finish. I like the way they did it. Too long.
Yeah,
I think I promise I won't spend 10 minutes on this. I just want to be very clear on the Jack Perry stuff because I feel like I feel like I'm being misrepresented.
Do your thing, brother. Do your thing.
All right, look.
This is your moment. I have my. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
Look. Again. The common response from a lot of people on our Discord is they had a young guy, they pushed him, they gave it a chance, didn't work out. What's the worst thing that can happen? I've heard that sentiment a lot, not just from Jake, from a lot of people. Notice, like my whole bit with Jack Perry didn't start until they did the all-out announcement of the Danielson match, where I was upset, aggressively so, and in the moment, I was criticized. In the moment, that day, like 5 people, thumbs down my comment, flooded me in the Discord, like, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with Jack Perry and all this and that? So in my opinion, Jack Perry is an average wrestler, and he has an average promo. And like we just talked about with Anthony Bowens, like we're going to talk about with Ricochet, the standard in this company is very, very high, and I don't think he stands out. In my opinion, I think he was heavily protected in tag teams, 6-mans, and gimmick matches for most of the last 3 years. I think most of his best matches in AEW have been like that, with the exception of maybe the Omega match that a lot of people really liked that I liked at the time too. That was Kenny Omega. And, okay,
MJF match.
Fine. Fair enough. But I think both those guys are super workers. And I think Kenny especially, that was like when he was still at the end of his prime before whatever stage he's in right now. So I think Jack Perry has always been kind of okay. And I think he has gotten a lot of exposure relative to other wrestlers in this company over the last 7 months. Like Tay has rightfully pointed out, it's not like he dominates the television like MJF did last year. Obviously, I don't disagree with that. They put a lot of guys on TV, though. So no one really stands out that much with their TV time, with the exception of Jericho, Moxley lately, MJF whenever he's around, guys like that. Generally, though, and I don't think this can be denied, over the summer, he was booked like the number 3 heel in the company. He took the TNT title that Edge and Adam Copeland and Christian Cage had been fighting for like 8 months. Like, they gave him a singles match at All In, which if we remember at the time, aside from the MJF match, aside from the main event, and aside from the 2 women's titles matches, that was the only other match we knew about until like the last 2 weeks of TV was that match with Darby. The climax, the blood and guts, was to build to the Darby Allin Jack Perry match where he ended his coffin streak, squashed him in 10 minutes. Darby, the guy that they're building the entire company around to be the next world champion right now, squashed that guy in 10 minutes. And that was a big part of the reason why I thought Darby should not have been champion, because that was too damaging a loss to immediately give him the title belt from Danielson right there. They've given Jack Perry a lot. And for the last 4 pay-per-views, he's kind of stunk it up. Every match has kind of just been okay. And a lot of people don't really give him the same criticism. We are very hard on MJF. We are very hard on Mercedes Moné. Jericho, when he's on his streak of bad pay-per-view
There's
matches,
no weed. Go ahead, kid. No weed. Go ahead.
Can't stop complaining about it. And with Jack Perry, most of the people I know in wrestling are kind of just like, yeah, it wasn't that good, whatever. Yeah, it wasn't that good, whatever. Month after month after month after month. I'm sorry. There are a lot of guys in this company that are better than him. A lot. And I think even at the time, we could have foreseen this. And he should not have been given this much of an opportunity. And at the moment which we were only going to get like 3 Danielson matches left, one goes to Nigel, one goes to Moxley, and the third goes to Jack fucking Perry. Like, that's the point where I lost it. Where like, I can't take this anymore. And then I'm called a crazy person because in my opinion, I'm not ascribing this to anyone in this call, to anyone in the Discord. I don't know everyone's individual motivations personally. In my opinion, I think a lot of people thought he would be better than this. I think a lot of you guys thought he would be better than this. Again, not necessarily the people in this call. A lot of people out there didn't complain because they thought higher of Jack Perry than he actually was. And now that everyone kind of realizes he's kind of mid, yeah, no one cares that much. Everyone wanted to see Garcia win this match for the most part of everyone I know. Yes, now we get it. I understand. But we've wasted a lot of time. And I really do think it is a black mark on 2024 that the Jack Perry Bucks thing, which was a big part of the television, was kind of mid. And I think that's why 2024 as a whole, in part, it's not all their fault, was kind of mid.
You don't agree with that, Chase?
No. I think mid's too nice.
Okay, bad. Bad. And I understand it's nice that AEW finally gave a young guy a chance. They have so many of those guys. A lot of those guys are better than Jack. I don't think that's a good enough excuse to justify what we've seen for 7 months. And I'm glad that it's over. And I'm hopeful if he stinks it up again on the pay-per-view, he'll get the criticism that these other guys get constantly, rather than everyone just shrugging their shoulders. Yeah, another bad Jack Perry pay-per-view match. Who cares?
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Did you see any of the New Japan stuff?
I did see the Chicago match, which Shota.
That's the only thing you saw.
That is the only thing I saw.
That's why you think the way you do.
Hold on.
But that's literally the only match, though, Josh. That's literally the only match. I'm kind of going through his list of matches right now. I'm like,
but beyond the matches, though. I'm talking like the whole.
I was going to say that too. Listen, I wish they would have just bought in that character, but they didn't. They just turned him into Raven. You know what I mean? So, like, they would have bought, because he was crazy.
Wasn't that match just because of the circumstances of like the timing? Like that match was in Chicago, after him coming back.
But I'm not talking
and he hasn't captured that since.
No, Josh is talking about how he was portrayed. That's what he's talking about. Like the way he was presented was so different and so much better than whatever the fuck this shit is, man.
But look, I am open-minded that he could potentially be better than this, whether it be AEW's fault or not, or him maturing or not. That's fine. But, however, going into that Danielson match, we had like 4 months of evidence that however they were presenting him in this company, it was not working. And at that point, stop it. Stop it. So, yes, I understand he was probably better in a different company. He might be better moving forward for all I know. But how he was presented in AEW, we had more than enough evidence to be skeptical. And then the fact that we had to keep dealing with it for another 3 to 4 months, it was exhausting and it drained the product for me. And I'm happy the reign is over.
But that not enough people were skeptical, and that pisses him off. And I'm with you, kid. Look,
you also
I may not disagree on this topic, but in general, I feel what you're feeling, sir. Because you know
what? Because of circumstances with Adam Copeland getting hurt.
They didn't have to pick him. And even if they did,
I agree with that.
Why? And even if they did, why 5 months? 5 months he's been champion. Like,
because you want to know why? Because Tony is doing his stupid. I have a story I want to tell, and I'm going to tell the story, and I'll wait however long I have to tell the story, and this happens every time. I think that's where you're misconstruing a lot of people shrugging their shoulders, because that's a lot of people are like, this is Tony doing what Tony does when he wants to do something. And
okay, but we
not good enough, guys. We still need to criticize him harder. Not good enough.
No, we do not show that apathy for the MJF Adam Cole feud, even though everyone knows.
But because nobody, because no, but no, you're wrong. There's lots of people. There are lots of people who have said that feud needed to go away, never come back. A lot of people have said that, and they put the whole thing on.
The kid is saying that not enough people treat Jack Perry the way they treated that feud, because he feels like the same heat that MJF and fucking Adam Cole got, Jack Perry should have got, and I cannot say I disagree with him. Good kid, keep on going, keep going.
But
I wish you well, sir. Keep going.
Already had 6 months of
moving forward. Hey, look, moving forward, and this is the key part I want to emphasize, because I think Tony loves Jack. Jack came in with the Bucks. He was billed as a pillar, and I think Brandon put it well last week. Just because Tony billed you as one of the 4 pillars doesn't mean we have to put you in the main event scene long term, and that there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing against you for being that. It's fine if just MJF, and we'll see on Darby, fill that role. My fear, Josh, again, if this stops and if he just like joins Christian's group and it's just like another guy in that group, like whatever, like I'm going to throw my hands up and not care that much. But if Tony comes back to this, if he comes back to heel or face this level of importance before he's demonstrated the growth to show that the matches will be better, that the promos will be better, that the overall presentation will be better, I will be upset. And I'm worried he's going to be stubborn about this, because they've given this guy a lot of chances that they don't give other people in this company. And the fact that Ricky Starks has not even been on television for 11 months while all this stuff happened is crazy to me. I'm done.
Nah, I'm with you. Kid. I'm so proud of you, kid.
I'm just saying that everyone that I know that saw that complete New Japan run never questioned any of this.
But how long into AEW did you need to see that it wasn't the same here? I get
it took me like a month.
But see, that's the thing. That's a Tony thing. That is a Tony thing, because Tony had that story
that is in him but Tony didn't give him really a chance because we saw that he can do
because
it.
he wasn't
Tony,
gonna he wasn't gonna let him do, because Tony was like, no, this is a story we need to tell. So this is the story we're gonna tell. And this is what he does that's not good, because as soon as things don't work, he needs to go to people and go, okay, we got to do something else. And then do something else. And if it still doesn't work, then you need to like punt.
But this is one of his guys, though. Like, this is somebody they're going to allow to get more out of it just because he's the one he's kind of handpicked, you know?
But I'm just saying that I think.
And Josh is also not being 100% genuine. Because when we first saw Jack Perry grab that House of Torture T-shirt, we all panicked. So don't do that.
We did. I'm not disagreeing, but I'm saying everyone that I know that followed that whole thing when he was not in AEW, when he was in New Japan, saw all the promos, saw all the run-ins.
I thought he was fantastic, even though I was worried at first. I thought he was fantastic.
But when and I think that's where the disconnect. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying I think that's what you're not seeing.
Well, but okay, look, I concede to not seeing a lot of that work, and I even take your word for it that it was good. What I have seen is not good, and given the choice of A versus B, a worse version.
But I know a lot of people that have said where, like Markeem has said, where is that guy? Where is
that's what we wanted. That's what we wanted. And why did Tony Khan do that? That's
okay. If I can't get that guy, why do I have to settle for this guy though? Why do I have to settle for what we've had? Just
because of Tony.
It's Tony's guy.
That's what
Josh said. Blame Tony. Don't blame Jack. Blame Tony. That's what Josh said.
Again.
Oh shit! Oh shit, kid. Kid, what happened?
I'm not Uzi's this guy.
All
right.
There you go. You're good now. You're good.
All right.
I understand that he's Tony's guy. That's why I said my frustration and fear, because yes, now the title reign's over. My rant should stop. My fear is this comes back in the future because he's Tony's guy. I'm not expressing surprise at it. I'm saying this sucks. Why am I the only one that thinks?
What about if he comes back as something different? Like you're trying something different. Like, is that going to help out?
It depends. Look, he was not good as a face either, as a singles face, I thought. I mean, obviously the MJF, the world title picture was too much for him. That doesn't mean every face program is too much for him. So it's possible that it was
also way early. Like,
yes, I'm not ruling out that something.
No, what Kid is saying, he reserves the right to get pissed again. That's
fine. You can get the right to get pissed. No, I don't know anyone. I don't know anyone who after. As soon as you saw that the Bucks and Perry thing wasn't going to go anywhere and was not good, I don't know anyone that defended it. Everyone shrugged their shoulders
when it started out. Defended
Josh, I gotta disagree, brother. A lot of people gave him the benefit of the doubt for having like these kind of less than matches. Like,
but the thing is there was a point where people were like, okay. And that was the point when people were like, the whole thing needs to go away, and we need to start over.
It should have happened. Kid's point is that it should have happened sooner.
But that is not what Tony does. That's
he needs to. Goddammit.
I know that. That's what I'm saying. You can't just put it all on Jack Perry because it's not all him.
I don't put it all on Jack Perry. I do put it on Tony. And like Brandon said, if he comes back in a different feud, a different presentation, and if it's fucking good, I'll say it's good. I'm not going to have these unreasonable standards that Markeem has for Mercedes. Like, if it's a good match, it's a good program.
I was agreeing with you. Now, how is me saying that my standard for her is to be the best women's wrestler in America when they have told me that this woman is the best? How is that unreasonable?
It's not.
How is that unreasonable?
She's making $10 million or whatever she's making. I get it.
Look, I feel bad we spent all this time talking about Jack Perry.
I was on your side.
Anyways,
we have not mentioned Daniel Garcia once, and he's
Daniel Garcia is finally the TNT champion after a multi-year chase.
Right.
Crowd pop big for the finish.
I'm glad. Like Garcia's, I've been high on Garcia forever. So,
hey, this was my scenario that I wanted. I didn't think I was going to get. He won the TNT championship,
He's
and
still
he's
in
going to be in the
and-
C2.
right.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
He's
Kid,
really
this
good.
your boy. Kid, you go ahead.
Well, I mean, yeah, Garcia. I've been high on Garcia for a while. I mean, I'm not alone in that. A lot of people are, but I think he has legitimate. He has this. The closest comparison I have, and I'm not trying to compare it to that place, but he has this, like Bryan Danielson in the WWE specifically relationship with the audience that he has in AEW, where
He's had that for a long, like he had that before he was in AEW. That's the thing, is he had that people made those comparisons. I can tell you, I've always thought he was the better prospect than Wheeler Yuta, because he had things, like I could see things in him that Wheeler Yuta just doesn't have, in my opinion. And I felt like he could turn up, like, not good on promos, but he had intensity in the matches. And if you have intensity in your matches, that will fix a lot of things. So
I think he's gotten a lot better on promos over the years.
oh, he has.
He's very relatable to the crowd. Like, he feels like a human being when he talks. I keep saying that because it's rare when it shouldn't be, but it is for whatever reason. And that's not just an AEW thing. Like, in general, everyone's overly manufactured, overly performative. He like feels like an actual person when you hear his struggle, and it's very easy to buy into him. And he has that same effect. The reason I compared it to Danielson, where Danielson could keep losing in WWE, and the fans just were like, "No, we're not going away from him. I don't care how much you bury him in front of us. I don't care how much he loses in front of us. We're not going away. You have to raise him up the card. You have no choice." And AEW, I'm sure, likes Garcia. I'm not trying to act like the fans bullied Tony into it, but it has that same effect where he can kind of be impervious to things that other wrestlers wouldn't be because of that connection he has with the fans. And I'm very, very happy that it started. But like anything, you got to follow it. Yeah.
I wish it would have started with a bang. I hate to bring back up fucking that boy Jack Perry, but I mean, I just wish the match was better because he deserved.
Yeah.
Honestly, he deserved a better match to be crowned. Like, remember when he won the? It's on a lesser scale, but remember when he won the Ring of Honor Pure title, and it felt like the biggest thing in the world. This should have felt even bigger than that. And truth be told, it didn't. It felt like, he won. Great. Like, yeah, whatever.
Speaking of what should have felt bigger than what it was,
Konosuke Takeshita versus Ricochet.
I tried to fucking warn y'all. Shut up.
This-
I tried to warn you all. I tried to warn you. You shouldn't have
This
did
was
it.
a good match, but a very disappointing match. Like,
Beyond this, like I
it
said,
never got to what you wanted to see. Never. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah,
We
this
shouldn't even be
thing is,
doing this right now. Just
like
saying.
Ricky looked like he was out of this, but honestly, I can't just blame him on this either. I think both of them just were like off.
I went Joe Lanza on the pants theory as well, because the man switches to tights and becomes one of the best wrestlers in the world. But he's going through his 2008 Okada pants phase right now, and I don't know, man. It's just the vibes from this were just not great.
Yeah.
You expected. I did not expect Takeshita versus Ospreay that we saw a Revolution, but something close to it. You would think that Ricochet could give him that type of match, and it wasn't anything close to that.
We saw a better performance of Ricochet in the last match. Like this,
but also Will Ospreay was in that.
Yeah,
match,
but
though,
even if you took, but I mean, he had a better performance.
he had a better performance against his match, and this is my opinion. He had a better performance against his match with Sammy Guevara than this.
Yes.
Like, I was into the Sammy Guevara match. This one was like,
yeah,
what's going on?
John looks like he had something to say. Something.
Yeah, I was gonna say, so while I thought the match was well wrestled and I did like it, to me it felt like the main event of like a G1 show, middle of the tour,
a single cam.
or like, and the one that came to mind to me, because I actually looked it up. I was trying to look
Naito
look at the
T-shirt
G1
show.
Takeshita had a main event against David Finlay in the middle of the tour this year for the G1 in a show in Yamaguchi that was in front of like 1,000 people.
I feel like
and while it was a really good match, it just had a ceiling because of the kind of
where
show
it was. Yeah, where it
yeah,
was,
and that's what this felt like. It felt like a G1 main event in like a small town in front of like 1,000 people. That's pretty much the comparison that I have to that. But again, well wrestled. The match was pretty good, but given the two guys involved, I was expecting a lot better.
We shouldn't even be having this conversation at all, because you know what they should have did. You know what they should have did.
Takeshi is one of the best wrestlers in the world this year.
I've been yelling about it for months.
What is that?
Y'all know exactly what they should have did. The feud is Okada. All this other is just random bullshit. The feud is Okada, man. Takeshita Okada. Takeshita should be in this goddamn classic without this goddamn title, by the way. Because it's cool that he has it. Don't get me wrong. It's cool that he has it. But could you imagine if the first man to give Okada a loss is Konosuke Takeshita in the finals of this C2? Could you imagine what that does for Takeshita? Instead of forcing him in that three-way, when you pin Will Ospreay anyway? How about that? How about let's just do that? Let's just do the better feud. It helps Okada and it helps Takeshita. But y'all niggas called me crazy when I said that. They should not have.
We did not call you crazy.
Hey, I
don't think nobody called you crazy. No.
Y'all didn't. I'm talking about in various different discussions I've had with different.
Mark can't be making stuff in his head. No,
I'm not talking about y'all. But this should have
got his own stories in his head, and he's not telling us what they
Tony
are.
Khan. He's Tony Khan and stuff.
Maybe not y'all, because y'all not stupid. I'm talking about in other places. But they should have just did Takeshita and Okada. Like they should have. This should be what we're talking about.
We all said that. We all did not want that three-way, and we were all like,
"This should be like that's the story we should be talking about, not this." And this match was fine, but we wouldn't be in this position at all if he was gunning for Okada. But whatever.
Why does Ricochet established a brand? Before WWE, like wrestled a certain way. He wrestled WWE. He comes over. He tries to, I guess, do it more quote unquote like the old way, but whenever I watch him, he feels WWE, and I don't know why, because he was there for forever.
It takes dudes like it took like the few times that Ziggler actually looked like what everyone thought he would look like. It took forever. So, and he still doesn't do it all the time.
What?
So,
Ziggler. When did he feel like? When was this?
What do you
he
mean?
still feels like a WWE guy.
No, I'm saying that, but the few times that he actually is like, oh, there's something. Where is the?
I'm asking when, John. You got to give me an example. I don't know what you're talking about.
There was I can't think of the match that was in. There was a TNA match where it was actually pretty good.
Can he just face?
Never mind. I definitely have never seen that. Never mind.
Huh? Joe Hendry,
Joe Hendry. Yeah,
he beat
I assume that was probably a.
Yeah, I've never seen any of his matches in TNA, so I wouldn't know.
I mean,
Anyway, go ahead, Kid, what were we about to say? Kid, what were we about to say?
No, just match was fine. Ricochet feels very WWE. I'm a little worried about him in the Classic. I know he had the good match with Guevara and Dynamite. The Wrestle Dream 3 was awesome.
This is his chance to show it. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm hopeful something changes soon, because I just get the sense, just vibe-wise, like some of his matches could underwhelm a little in this tournament.
Like I said, I find it weird that the other guy didn't be like, all right, well, he's not bringing his part, but I'll at least do what I can. And maybe they just have bad chemistry together. Maybe that
could be a thing.
That could be a thing. So
I also feel like I'm skeptical about Ricochet in general, because I know you say it takes guys a while, but it didn't take Pac that long. He was having bangers in Dragon Gate like 2 weeks after he got
but he was still trying to he was still trying to have his be Pac, and
so Pac is better than Ricochet.
I mean, he is.
That's not a controversial statement.
All right.
Anything to say about the Mariah May segment?
No.
Should have been on Dynamite.
Chicken titties on screen. Just I guess that's what it's going for.
Is it? Why are we getting these like segments on every single pay-per-view now? Like
because the writers got it right.
Yeah.
Have to justify their existence.
You're right.
Like the Nana thing on Wrestle Dream is like, are we going to do this every month now? Like just 30 minutes, 20 minutes on a non-wrestling thing?
Yeah, see, I thought the swerve segment on that pay-per-view worked. I thought that was fine.
Right.
I didn't think this segment was horrible either. It just didn't need to be on the show. That was fine.
Could have been on
I mean, the crowd did pop for her.
Yeah,
turning.
I guess the thing was that I didn't expect it to escalate the way that it did. Where it's like, oh, we're doing spears off the stage now, and they did the split.
And they did the whole Stardom thing with her mouth bleeding and her kissing her, because that's a whole Stardom thing. Julia used to do that all the time. I thought that was kind of cool.
Well, then we had Bobby Lashley beating the ever-loving shit out of Swerve Strickland, which is what should have happened. Maybe knock 5 minutes off of it, too.
Yeah, I would say this was too long. This was too long, but
it was too much. Bobby Lashley beating the ever-loving shit out of him. But that's
what it should have been, because we all said that this is how you make. I mean, the dude is at least 200 pounds heavier than just about anybody in the freaking company, so he should just be killing people. And he looks, with the exception of Brian Cage, he probably looks better than just about anybody else in the company. So,
and if the feud is continuing, then Lashley had to win the first match.
Right. So. Well, he needed to win anyways, because you want to you want to establish him for the group, because it's evident that they have plans for the group. So,
I thought this whole segment of the pay-per-view, though, like Perry Garcia, the Ricochet match, the segment, it was just, to me, it's all just kind of one blur. Like I would rate like all 3 matches the same. Like they all were just kind of there. Everything was just kind of there. The crowd seemed dead. Yeah, that's why this segment is why this is, like, as you said, Josh, at the beginning, the worst possible pay-per-view they can do that still meets the threshold. Like, it's because this segment was bad. Like, if these matches were
like we just said, that this would have been perfectly good. I think people would have actually been even a little bit more into it if it had been, like Chase said, maybe 10 minutes shorter. I would maybe even say, he said 5. I'd say almost 10 minutes shorter. Like, have it just.
No, I said go 5 minutes.
When we talked about it in the preview, we said it should just be like a legitimate squash, just destroy him in 5 minutes or so. But I was very surprised how long this went.
So
I mean, 13 minutes isn't that long, but I still get what you're saying. Yeah.
I mean, the idea might be, hey, but I still, if Goldberg can beat Brock in like less than 5 minutes in all of those matches,
and Brock be fine,
and Brock be fine,
matches are awesome. I just rewatched that Mania one. It's so good. So good.
It's like, I've always said that you don't need long matches. You just need stuff to happen. And matches have a length that they need to be, and just let them go out there and do what they're thinking. Anyways, then we had the main event, and I'm going to call this main event the Dan tribute main event, because for those people who don't know, Dan absolutely was not a fan of Orange Cassidy at all. Did not think he should be in a spot like this, and we all kept telling him no.
I think he would have liked this though. I think
he would have too. I think he would have seen what the rest of us kind of knew Orange Cassidy had in him. But this was something else. I will say this was.
You know what this felt like to me? This felt like one of those late '90s Paul Heyman ECW main events, where all this shit is happening, all of the shit is happening, and then amidst the chaos, it ends. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, I really like this too. I ain't gonna lie, I was having a lot of fun.
Yeah, Orange jumping Moxley at the start was great, and I can always appreciate when you have a match where the winner seems pretty obvious going in. If you can do anything that gets the crowd to really bite on near falls, then I think you've done a good job. Like, to me, and maybe this isn't exactly one-to-one comparison, but when I saw the briefcase spot, the crowd bit on that near fall when Cassidy hit him with a briefcase, and he nearly won the match. To me, like, that's up there in terms of near falls and matches where the winner is obvious, but they do make you believe just a little bit that the other guy's going to win. To me, the number one is, and I don't even know if you guys even remember this match, but it reminded me, like when thinking about sort of finishes like that or near falls like that, it reminded me of the Shingo Tanahashi match that happened during the pandemic in the Tokyo Dome.
Of course,
yeah. And there was, I forget what led up to it, but there was, Tanahashi did his, finishing sequence. And then when he hit that high fly flow, like he had me fully sold that he was going to win. And it was like Shingo had just won the title in the first defense. So for me, like that one's the ultimate. And this one, that briefcase spot, well, not nearly like that level. It was pretty close because the crowd totally bought that Cassidy was winning that after he hit the briefcase on Mox. But on the whole, I really enjoyed the main event. Willow running out got a big pop too. It was nice to see that they had Marina built as this, who's basically, she hasn't sold anything since this whole thing started. And she finally got her comeuppance in a way. And I think they did it with the right person with Willow. So,
yeah, maybe she gets some out of Marina Shafir.
Maybe.
It's been cool how much more credibility Marina has. Not even from like winning a bunch of matches or cutting these fiery promos. It's
just being a presence in the midst of this. Yeah.
That's the best use of her because when that bell rings, it's dire. But yeah, that's the best use of her.
That's great. They turned her into someone meaningful. Just
the
by
thing
doing
is they have her. They don't have her wrestle right. That's part of the problem. Is they have her. She needs to just go out and like kill people, and they don't have her do that. So
I'm with you there, Josh.
This was my favorite match of their matches. Marquis may disagree. I like this a little bit better than the All Out match last year. All right, the story for that one was better. We had been building all year to Cassidy losing the title. It was more emotional. The crowd was a little bit more into it. The finish was like very momentous. But like I watched that match recently before this one in preparation for it, and I don't know. Like I feel like Orange, like the way Moxley worked over Orange in this match at the beginning, getting the steps, doing the Death Rider immediately on it, getting the blood right away. Orange Cassidy's fiery start, like Sean pointed out, like kind of like immediately trying to cut him off. I thought Moxley's character was better in this match than it was in that match last year. Because if you remember last year, the BCC Elite feud, it was just kind of there. Like the BCC didn't come up particularly more violent or important after the feud. Whereas in this one, they've been building Moxley as like this like Death Eater almost, like the AEW, like the past 2 months. So like I bought a little bit more into his heel work in this match, even if last year Cassidy's babyface heroism was more present than it was in this
match. And I was at that match.
I didn't think about it. You might be right, kid. I didn't think about it.
Yeah, I was at that match in Chicago, and I think their match in Full Gear last year is the worst of the three, even though I thought that was really good. This match and the All Out match last year are both great, but I would say that the All Out match last year was the better wrestling match. But I think what puts that over the top for me as well is just the story going in was a lot better, with Orange having this long title reign and his body breaking down, and then finally hitting the wall against Moxley. And I think this match it could have been, if it had a better story or if it was just built better, I think it would have just added more to it. But and it started out okay with the build, but then over the last couple of weeks, and especially on that go home show, it just wasn't. Yeah, it just wasn't hot going in, even though I knew that the match was going to deliver.
Yeah, if this was hot going in, it could have been really special. I'm with you on that, Sean.
What did you think about the wacky ending to the pay-per-view with all the shenanigans going on?
I still don't think I like
Bro, Christian, this whole Money in the Bank cash in sucks.
Yeah.
And I really hope that this 4-way that they're going to do at World's End is him cashing in his shot to get in the match, to get rid of that thing.
I hope
because
so.
I was definitely like, yo, they're going to put this title on this man. Like, he's going to cash in this contract, and they're going to put the title on him right now.
I thought it worked against Adam Copeland.
Yes.
That was it.
Yes.
That was it, though.
That had a special circumstance with their history and the way they did it.
Yeah, Adam's gimmick on it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with
But
Chase.
this
though.
not.
But Chase, because I think we've talked about this in the Discord a little bit. Like you kind of seem to think what I think about this Moxley angle, where like I'd liked Moxley as a character. I think has been great. I liked him a lot better than he was last year.
How I put it is that he's constantly talking in riddles with no solution in sight.
Yeah.
Like, where is this going?
There is this
Like, what's the end
reference
game here?
that there's like another power at play that is like with Moxley on doing everything he's doing. Like he's almost teasing that like Shane McMahon is.
Don't say the name Shane McMahon.
I'm not saying
You
him specifically.
You know who would be good?
Yeah.
Know who would be good? Would be
Josh Barnett.
Josh Barnett.
Yeah.
Josh Barnett would be the perfect.
But it would be lost on that crowd. Though.
Yeah, it would. Yeah.
Well, you would have to set it up because you would have to wait until you get Kenny back, and Kenny comes out and somehow convinces the Bucks to be faces again, and you have to have some sort of thing where JR is somewhere. You don't have JR be part of the angle, but you have to have them reference what happened with JR. I think you have to have like Moxley say something like in an interview with JR of like, well, a lot of what we're doing is because of you, because there was a time you weren't treated right, and there were people in this company that didn't respect you the way they should, and blah 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 blah, and you kind of sow those seeds, and then you can bring in Josh Barnett, and Josh Barnett be the I want wrestling to be a certain way, it's not that way, blah blah blah,
But I also think to make it more effective, because I mean, let's just be honest, these AEW fans, they aren't us anymore. But
no.
The good way to do it is maybe you have Josh Barnett in someone else's manager, maybe someone else that's like a shooter type deal, right? He goes, I'm gonna help you. I don't want to say hook, but someone like that. You know what I mean? And then maybe you see Josh Barnett with this person. This person gets a title shot against Moxley, and that's when you reveal that he's the person that's been helping Moxley.
The mastermind.
Yeah.
A higher power.
God, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. But yeah,
I do agree with Chase. There's constant references to this like higher authority that like there's things that none of you guys know are going on around here, and when the longer it goes until that's revealed, it does kind of make the riddle talk a little corny.
I agree.
Is he still talking about that? Because I feel like in his recent promos, like he's not talking about like any sort of fire.
The last time I saw John Moxley promo he did, and I don't know how long ago that was, so I don't know when that was because I don't watch that show, so couldn't tell you.
And if they just drop it, that's fine too. But.
Well, are you going to start watching when the Continental Classic kicks off, Markeem?
No, just the matches. I'm not going to watch the show. I'm going to watch the matches, yeah, of course. That's what I do now.
Okay. You want to go down?
Everybody in the blocks.
We got the Blue League and the Gold League.
You want me to go through? I got.
We should go by each person.
I got them right here. Let's talk about them. All right, the Blue League. Blue League. Shelton Benjamin. What are your thoughts on Shelton Benjamin being?
He ain't winning.
No chance.
I mean, are you excited that he's in this though?
Shelton's been good on TV. He's been a good TV wrestler since he's come in.
I'm a little more intrigued with Shelton than I am with Ricochet, and I don't know why, but I just am.
I'm wondering how story driven his matches are going to be, as far as is he going to have to win for the group, and what it's evident that is setting up something, him being in this block. So we'll have to see. So,
I think one of the big themes though throughout some of these blocks, I guess more so in the Blue League than the Gold League, is that there are very clearly people who are there just to lose matches.
How about Mark Briscoe? Is he one of those people that's just there to lose matches?
Well, he
Well,
went what?
He was last year.
He went what? He went
He
through
beat
and
Jay
won one
Lethal.
match, right?
Yeah,
And
he
yeah.
beat Jay
He
Lethal.
and Jay Lethal both lost all their matches until they wrestled each other on the last show. And
Jay Lethal had no points. Mark Briscoe just had.
Yeah.
Hey, did they put out the schedule yet for all of these matches?
No,
Yet?
just for next this coming
no.
up week. No, we'll talk about it. We got Kyle Fletcher and Daniel Garcia as well in the blue block or blue league.
Both of them have a shot. I think one of them should honestly. Well, maybe not, but they both have a shot.
Oh, I think Fletcher should win it. It should be Okada Fletcher final.
We've spent all year saying wait till the Continental Classic for Okada, wait till the Continental Classic, and then he's just gonna lose like 3 times, and not make I just can't see it. I think I do agree.
I don't know. Maybe
3. Why do you think he's going to lose 3?
Whatever amount of
whatever it takes for him not to get to the
Eddie Kingston lost twice last year and still made the final. Like when you do the math, usually to not make the final at all, it's usually 3 losses.
Just looking at the layout of the blocks, it when I first saw it, it read to me like, okay, the gold league is going to be the one where it's close, and the blue league is going to be the one where it's going to be, a top 2 or maybe a top 3, and there's going to be a large separation between those guys. Where I think the gold league is going to be, you're going to see more people trading wins in that one.
Blue league, you got the Beast Mortos and
awesome.
Kazuchika Okada.
Oh, he's awesome.
I mean, the pin eater is Mortos, unfortunately, but
Would you say Mortos and then probably Shelton, and then Mark Briscoe?
Yeah, I would say.
Yeah. So your top 3 are Kyle Fletcher, Daniel Garcia, and Okada.
Okay, I'm looking at this. What? Because I could see this being a thing. What if MVP's group, their next kind of their target is Garcia? Did you see that?
Oh, to set up, because you use this tournament to do stuff like that. So I can see that.
So what will that match produce? A Shelton Benjamin versus Daniel Garcia match?
Maybe what you have is you have Garcia win, and sometime before the match, he gives you do the card thing. Garcia turns him down, and Lashley destroys Garcia, and then to the point where he loses the remaining of his matches because he has to go out of the tournament or something like that.
Of these 6 guys, y'all can tell me if I'm wrong because I forget stuff, but I feel like the only match that's happened between them is that Mortos has a pin over Mark Briscoe. Didn't Mortos pin Mark Briscoe in a match a month or 2 ago?
Yes, and then
we thought we didn't get a ROH. Oh, maybe he did. I don't know.
He did get a ROH title match.
They cut on watch ROH. Okay, got you. But everyone else is kind of like a fresh match, right?
Right.
Yep.
Remember last year, the Continental Classic started after Swerve got that big win over Hangman, and there were a lot of people. It was a similar thing with Fletcher. It's like we just gave him this big win. We need him to win this tournament. He was as hot as ever, and he didn't, and it was fine. They did a 3-way. I could totally see them doing a very similar thing where the blue league
went 5-1 or
yes,
4-2?
but that's my point with Fletcher. You can do that without him having to win this block, and it doesn't hurt him.
The Gold League, I'm just naming everybody. Juice Robinson, Brody King, Ricochet, Will Ospreay, Claudio Castagnoli, and Darby Allin.
All right, Juice Robinson is definitely the pin eater here.
Same thing with King.
That I can say.
And same thing with King.
Brody King.
Although I think Brody King is actually going to win tomorrow.
He had 2 wins in the last.
Yeah, they pushed Brody pretty strong in that thing last year.
I think he's going to win tomorrow.
He beat Claudio last year.
Darby is probably going to take the Eddie Kingston route of losing his first 2 matches and then trying to dig out of the hole like Eddie did last year.
And Darby is wrestling Brody tomorrow. So
yeah, that's what I think.
And we got Brody versus Darby. We got Mark Briscoe versus Shelton, and Ricochet versus Castagnoli.
Yeah. And I think they announced the other matches too because they are taping Collision.
Juice Robinson, Ospreay, Okada versus Garcia, which is going to be great, and then Fletcher versus Mortos.
Juice Robinson and Will Ospreay is going to be fantastic because those dudes have insane chemistry, and a lot of people don't know that.
Oh yeah,
that match is going to be fantastic.
those 2022 U.S. title matches. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
What matches are there from these blocks? Are you guys excited to see?
Well, go ahead.
Almost.
I mean,
Most
this is
of
a
the
really solid field all around.
Has Benjamin and Okada ever had a match?
No,
Did they have a match at New Japan?
I don't think so.
No. He was
Shelton
Noah.
Benjamin,
Remember,
let
he
me
wasn't
see.
in No Japan.
Oh, that's right.
Well, no, Shelton was in New Japan.
Man,
For a look, yeah, but most time, for that year that they rented Suzuki Gun, he was at Noah.
If
But
they
he wasn't
wrestled,
in
it
New
was
Japan that long.
probably
It was probably
Like a
tag
6-man or something like that.
Yeah.
They might have had a G1 match, maybe.
I'm really excited for the Mordos matches. I actually really, really wanted him to be in this tournament before I even saw the lineup come out, because just the way he wrestles, it strikes me as he's the guy where like he's not going to have a bad match. Where like all 5 of his matches are going to be really strong. Like even if there's nothing memorable, I think his floor is just going to be really high in this format.
Agreed. I think everybody in this tournament, honestly,
Will Ospreay versus Darby is like the one
it's
that
gonna
just
be
kind of
nuts.
stuck out for me. Like
Oh,
I want to
God.
see that match so bad.
Yeah.
I feel like Will's gonna do something nice with Darby.
The only thing I'm sort of wondering is that, at least based on the schedule, they're doing 5 Dynamites. There's 4 collisions before the pay-per-view. So it unless they sort of jam up the matches in different places, it's going to be
You
weird.
still have Rampage for now.
They do have Rampage.
It doesn't
Until
it's gonna be on
January.
Rampage. I don't think anything's gonna be on Rampage.
And I don't think they've made I don't think they've made it, unless I missed something. I don't think they made it clear that they're doing the same thing they did last year, where they have the top 2 in semifinals before the final. I don't think they've stated that yet.
I thought I saw Blue League. I
don't know if they said that, but you would feel the Hammerstein shows they're gonna make sure that they have the top, like you said, the top semifinal match is gonna be in that show, and hopefully it's. Honestly, I think they should stack the collision, even though I think they're going to have some matches on Dynamite, even though Dynamite's taped. They really should just stack that collision and just be like all Continental Classic matches.
I think that Will Darby match, it should be in the Hammerstein, I think that'd be the best setting for that match.
I agree.
This is a small thing, and we could talk about this weeks down the line. I do think the final of the Classic should probably main event that pay-per-view in Orlando, especially if the title match is going to be some 4-way that no one cares about. I think putting this on last, I do think, especially given the guys that are in it, like Ospreay, Okada, Darby, like that's more than sufficient to carry a main event.
To really put it over. I agree.
Yeah.
It's also going to be interesting to see how those tournament matches look in that convention that they're running in Columbus.
Oh, is that part of this?
Yes, it is.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Yeah, I think that's December
7th. Yeah.
Galaxy Con.
What the hell
Does anybody have any wild prediction or just standard expectation?
Who's your winner? I mean, who's everyone's
Okada,
winner before we go?
Ospreay.
I think Darby wins it.
Oh,
Really?
I think Darby.
Okay, so the winner is going to get the belt, right?
Yes.
Continental title. This is the problem with Swerve last year. It's the same argument. If Darby's going to eventually be world champion, how do you make him the Continental?
Yeah. I don't.
I shouldn't say win it. Darby, I think, will be in the finals.
Yeah.
Against who?
I remember
Fletcher?
I remember when Okada first came in, I in our Voices of Wrestling Slack, some people suggested that Okada should just win the tournament this year and then not lose the title until next year's Continental Classic.
Well, I would have felt like that when he first came in.
And I would have felt like that if Garcia was in the other block, because Garcia could beat him, but I don't know.
I don't feel like that anymore, Sean.
I feel you. I feel you.
I would like it to be Garcia but
I think it's going to be Okada in the final.
it'll probably be Okada.
Okada Ospreay. Okada wins. Kenny Omega challenges Okada, and then they have a match for that thing. I think Vic brought that up in the Discord. I think he's right. I think that's what they're gonna do.
I think either Okada Ospreay or Darby beats Ospreay in the final, in the Gold League final, but loses the final match to Okada. Like I think Darby could get to the end and not quite win. I feel like that's in line, kind of like with this character. Like if Eddie Kingston made it all the way.
I mean,
to
that's
the
what
final.
they did with Swerve, right? Like Swerve almost
Yeah.
like made it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it makes sense.
Who are the snubs? Who got snubbed out of being in this tournament?
Out of being in it,
Mhm.
Out of
Pac-
being in it.
I would rather see Pac than Claudio personally. Like I think it would have
Yeah.
been.
I mean, I know, you know, I listen to Observer Radio. I know Meltzer was all about, well, why isn't this guy in it? Why isn't this guy in it? But it's clear based on the booking the last 2 years that you're going to get a lot of names in this thing, but you're also just going to get people who are just clearly there to lose, who are good
You gotta
wrestlers
have
who are
those
there to
guys.
lose.
You gotta,
You
and
have
it's
to
only
have those
12
guys,
people,
but
so
also
you're gonna have to sacrifice
the
some spots.
people who are there to be pin eaters are people who can also go out and have.
Yeah. Mhm.
But couldn't you have other people who would be that? Like, why would I not want to replace Juice Robinson with Buddy Matthews? You know what I mean? Like, why wouldn't I want to just have somebody? Not that's not saying it's Juice. Juice will be fine. I'm looking forward to his matches, but someone that people want to see, like a Buddy Matthews, who's got a standing ovation and like
still
people
wanna
chanting
see
his
Buddy
name on the
Matthews.
pay-per-view. Would you not want him in this tournament here versus somebody like Juice?
Maybe you have. If you have, here's the thing. I think they have plans for everybody in this tournament. I think that's one of the other things.
You hope
And
so.
I think that you're going to have a lot of stories come out of this tournament. I think it's going to be. We didn't necessarily have that. We had stories within the tournament last year. We didn't necessarily have a lot of stories coming out of it. Looking at this, I think we're going to have more coming out of it. So, and I think there are guys or guys who they have plans for. So I think that, yeah, you'll have Juice, for example, take a lot of pins, but you're hoping he'll have like very good to great matches every night out,
Right.
and that he'll get over that. I think you think the same thing with Brody King. I think Briscoe, I think it's kind of the same. I think you're not worried about that because I think he's someone who can go out there and lose. Mortis is a guy I think that they want, they definitely feature. So I think that's why he's on there. So I think that's part of the reason. But I mean, you can't go out there and do what everyone dreams that they could do, which is put on some crazy tournament that has all the top people in there.
Josh
Because-
thinks there are going to be stories after this. Funny.
I said there could. What did I say? I said
You said you think they will. You're
think they
funny,
will.
Josh.
I'm looking at it, just looking at it.
So last year you had the Bryan Danielson Eddie Kingston feud, which was in the tournament and continued afterwards, and then you had the Daniel Garcia House of Black stuff that lasted for about a month. Hopefully, there's more than that this time.
Yeah.
That's what I'm worried about.
That
That
feud
stuff
ended
did
in
lead
Bossier
towards
City,
that cage
Louisiana.
match. That was in Louisiana, if I remember correctly.
I was front row for.
Yeah. What'd you think of that match?
Oh, I loved it live.
Yeah.
I thought the psychology was fucking stupid though.
Oh,
It was escape the cage elimination.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you do have Malachi Black in there, so
Oh,
I don't think that
God.
guy's going to be
Taking no
getting a lot
pins,
of
man.
pins.
My one disappointment is that they didn't have any international talent at all in this thing.
Do you
I thought
think he ever lets
But-
Zelina get on top?
You are wild, bro. Why would you?
That's funny. That's actually funny. That's really funny, Chase. It's a good one.
You had that one cooking, ain't it? You had that one in the bowl, didn't you? You was simmering. There.
Markeem, is it better to just focus on the people that you have in AEW for this tournament? Like the big rumor was like, oh, people were gonna say, even though if it could have happened or not, people were thinking that Speedball Mike Bailey was gonna be in this. Is it good to bring Speedball, who hasn't been in AEW at all, bring him into this tournament as a newbie and have like fans like, okay, here's another new person that they're bringing up versus let's just focus on the people who we have in this
But
company.
if you used
in the-
him, though, you put him in this tournament to get him over because he's going to
I
have.
agree. Yeah. And that's something I agree with for sure. That's what you want to do. but like the fans are like, man, another new person.
And then he's gonna go through that tournament, and they're gonna be
You're
like,
right.
oh,
And when he's gonna lose and be like, okay, why would I care about this guy? You know what I mean?
You're right, but this also would have been a good way to build up something like Russell Dynasty, where you get to see all these guys at this big show in Japan. You know what I mean? Because we still got some tickets to this motherfucker. You know what I mean? So I don't know. We still got to, I don't know. You're right though. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Let's just say that.
I would have. Does anyone like just a small thing? Like Mark Briscoe, love Mark Briscoe. Loved him in the tournament last year. This year, I don't know. Like, doesn't have the same.
Hey, hold on, kid. Calm down now. Hold on.
I agree because I wanted Mark Briscoe to have a championship match with John Moxley at Hammerstein. I thought it would have been perfect, especially we have Jay who won the belt, won the championship at Hammerstein. Just have Mark face him, and obviously he'd lose or whatever. But that's not going to happen because obviously he's going to be in this tournament and probably going to take more losses than he's going to get wins.
Like Rod Strong, for example, like someone who I think would do well in this tournament, like can easily take all those same losses. I think that would have probably been a better situation than Mark Briscoe.
Kid, you had me nervous a bit, man. You brought up Mark Briscoe. I said, oh, hold up now. It's my guy.
I love Mark Briscoe.
Who doesn't love Mark Briscoe?
If Eddie Kingston was in this thing, he would have some sort of story. If he was healthy, he would be.
Yeah.
Like, I want my belt back because Okada hasn't done shit with it or something like that.
Maybe this next year you expand this field and maybe link a little bit bigger, and you can do some. Maybe you have a marquee match. You can start it before.
Maybe you have
Full Gear, and you can have a marquee. You can have a couple marquee matches at Full Gear, like your top, whoever it may be, Ospreay versus Darby Allin or something like that. You can have it on the pay-per-view. I don't know.
You could do 4 blocks instead of 2. And
don't do that. Don't.
And I'm just saying,
they got the roster for it.
Yeah, just make the blocks bigger, man. Don't do 4. Don't do 4.
Okay, well you can make the blocks bigger. I'm just saying that there's ways to.
Because you know why? If they do 4 blocks, you know exactly what's going to happen. Oh, it's a tie. Oh, 4-way final. You know that's what's going to happen.
I mean.
So don't
even invite that nonsense, Josh. No, one block faces the other block, and then you do like red versus green or something.
No, you're right. You guys are right, but they will come up with a way to do a fucking 4-way. So I'd rather not even invite that nonsense. Just make the blocks bigger.
Okay. I mean, they found a way to do a 3-way last year. So
yeah, that was so stupid.
I love Jay White, but he could have just got pinned, man. That's my guy. That was stupid.
Wait, anything else?
Speaking of Hammerstein, I will be at Final Battle on the Friday.
Nice.
Just
you going to all 3 shows or just Final Battle?
At this point, probably only just Final Battle.
Damn, that collision seems fun. It may be a fun time.
It comes down to the bus schedule. That's what it comes down to. But it's weird because literally because there's a lot of buses that go between where I live and New York City because we're close. And literally over the last couple of years, it used to be different. It used to be the last bus left at 12:30, which was great for me because I could just go to shows and go back home the same night. But I think I checked literally the 6 out of 7 days. The last bus now is 11:30. But for whatever reason, on Saturdays specifically, it's 10 o'clock. And that's like right when Collision ends. So
that's random.
I don't know. I can't explain it, but I'll definitely be going to Final Battle, though. Looking forward to that.
We'll talk about Ricky Starks next time when this thing gets ironed out and whatever the hell is going on with him.
Yeah.
We'll know. Next time we will know what's.
That's what I mean. Yeah. We'll know or iron out and know what the hell's going on with Ricky Starks.
Right.
Anything else, y'all? Or is that it?
Australia? No.
I mean,
they're having to move.
It seems like the people from Australia is like, why did they do this to begin with? And no one is surprised that this show is not selling what they thought it would be. So it is what it is, man.
That's unfortunate, man. That's unfortunate.
They picked Brisbane.
Hey, WWE just 2 years ago had to move a stadium show to somewhere else. So it's not like it's out of the norm. You know what I mean?
Anything from that company we need to bring up at all, or can we just end this thing?
You're excited for the Survivor Series. I know you guys are.
Oh, we should probably talk about the CM Punk thing,
Should we?
right?
Why?
No,
What did they
why?
talk about?
I mean, it was cool. People were into it. It makes no sense. I mean, even though they tried to make it make sense, but it still makes no sense.
All right, so Josh, I'm gonna defend them just a tad. Okay, so just a tad. I can't believe I'm doing this. So Roman Reigns obviously needed a replacement, right? Needed a replacement. Paul Heyman is his wise man. CM Punk is a Paul Heyman guy. That's all you need. That's all you need.
I'm not disagreeing with that. Still, it's CM Punk with Roman Reigns. I mean, they've teased that okay, they're together, but they're not like necessarily.
Well, he even said he was like, "I'm not doing this for you. I'm doing this for Paul."
Right. So
He
I mean,
said-
but I just
God, I can't believe it. Oh, I feel so icky doing that, but it's true. It's God.
I mean,
And you
it feels
can
so
feel icky again.
Oh no
in
no 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 no
about-
no 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 no! We're not ready. No, let them
Maybe
get off
I am.
anything they need to. Is there anything else in regards to them?
I will say I have nothing to say about them, but I will say this before we leave. This was us going back and forth and getting with each other. This was much more of like the calls that we used to have. I think that which was kind of what we always wanted when we started doing this. We wanted and this was much more of.
But this is one of those pay-per-views that were like you say good, but like it's probably. I mean, the only pay-per-view I have worse than the one we talked about is probably Double or Nothing, but everything else was
right.
Yeah,
but that's what I mean. I mean, this is like to me, this is like, unfortunately, the like where they have to be the this is where they don't need to try to achieve this.
This is the floor.
This is the floor, and unfortunately, that's what it has to be. They're in that kind of position. It has to. This is what it has to be, so that you keep up that hey, you have to watch these shows because the shows always deliver.
I'm just interested to see what the build is going to be to World's End, which is only like a month away, less than a month away, or maybe more. I don't know. But then what the build is going to be from there till Revolution, which is almost 3 months.
We'll be to Australia first, and then.
Oh, that's right. They do have All in Australia. Damn.
Yeah.
Well, Max is coming.
Yeah, that's why they're speculating.
We got to pay for that.
The speculation is they're not doing the Jay White singles match at World End for Moxley because you could do that at Australia instead.
Well, they need a venue.
Hey,
they need a date to do it.
That's true.
You probably do that. What you do the Fletcher
Ospreay, probably
Ospreay,
Tony and Mariah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, yeah. I mean, you have to do that match there. That's I would almost
Harley Cameron.
Taylor said Australian Jay White. I mean, he's not Australian, but area relative.
right.
Come on now. The Tongans are Samoan.
She's Australian. I did not know that. Damn.
What, Tony Storm?
Tony?
Yeah.
No, Harley Cameron. I was not aware that she was
I
Australian.
didn't know that either.
Yeah.
That it?
I think that's it.
I hit the button, Chase.
2
Alright.
weeks.
I haven't hit the button yet. Shut up.
We tell
Alright.
people 2 weeks though.
Excuse me?